I am Ilay Perumal, Assistant Professor of Mechanical Engineering at the SCAT College of Engineering Technology and convener of today's webinar, Product Lifecycle Management (PLM). Feel privileged to welcome you all. Today is very special day for us. In this COVID fanatic situation, we all are locked inside, but the webinars and visual sessions prove that learning and gaining knowledge is still going on. I am so delighted that more than 200 participants have registered for the webinar, and I welcome everyone in this wonderful day. Let me start today's session with a brief introductory note of our college. SCAT College of Engineering and Technology, Sharan Magadevi, was started before 20 years as a pioneer institution in providing quality engineering education for the past 2 decades. The college offers 5 UG courses and 4 PG courses, including professional course MBA. We have consistently produced 80% of results every year in the honesty examinations. We provide adequate knowledge is provided to all our students in the best manner by the efficient faculty members and state-of-the-art infrastructural facilities. Department of Mechanical Engineering was started in the year 2001 and has 16 faculty members with 4 doctorates. Our students participate in several competitions and events and bring laurels to our institution regularly. We arrange industrial visits every year to the students to have a practical exposure of companies along with the quality and good education. We train our students right from the first year and provide them all content beyond the syllabus to make them face the outward world changes with confidence. The department has a good research ambience with several international paper publications in the reputed journals and received several grants from public and non-public bodies. As another feeder to the gap of our Department of Mechanical Engineering, today we have arranged this national webinar on product lifecycle management. We believe this topic is to need the hour and will make faculty and students to think really out of the box in this competitive world. To officially start this webinar, may I take privilege of welcoming our eminent resource person, Mr. J. Dinesh Raja Ruban sir, PLM coordinator, ZF Automotive, Germany. He is such a popular and reputed person in the field of product lifecycle management. He has earned BE from Anna University and he has completed MSc Mechanical Engineering from University of Duisburg, Germany. He has more than 8 years experience in industry. He has more knowledge about PTC, Windchill, Excellent, Creo, CATIA V5, Autodesk Inverter, SolidWorks, etc. It is no doubt today we all are privileged to have such experienced person amidst our session speaker. Now may I request our guest speaker, Mr. J. Dinesh Raja Ruban sir, to take over the session. Please sir, the stage is now yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ilay Perumal, for a brief introduction. So I will present now. Yes, sir. I would like to welcome you all for this webinar, Product Lifecycle Management. So myself, Dinesh Raja Ruban, I'm working in ZF Friedrichshafen AG, that is like now ZF Automotive Germany GmbH. So I'm here in Germany since 2013. I'd like to give a small introduction about my education. So I did my bachelor's in India and my master's in Germany. I am working as a PLM coordinator in Germany, that is in ZF Automotive Germany GmbH. So this is a short overview for today's topic. So we are going to first of all see what is PLM and then example of product lifecycle management, because product lifecycle management might be a new topic for you. So it might be hard for you to understand. So I will give you some small example. These are live examples which we are using in our day-to-day life. Then I want to do some information regarding job opportunities, because in India we are having too many opportunities, and also in Germany or other foreign countries we have too many job opportunities. But most of the people like us, we don't know, because we never heard about this PLM or PDM during our studies, or we might have done that, but in a very small portion. And then I will also explain about the target degrees. So which engineering courses or degrees which help you to land into this job. And then I will also explain you about the fields related to the PLM. Apart from the PLM, there are also a few technologies or courses which will help for you to land into this job or similar job, which will boost up your career in the future. So first of all, what is PLM? PLM means product lifecycle management. That means complete life cycle of any product. For example, just consider a mobile phone. If you consider a mobile phone, just from the concept phase till the end of this life, we are telling this as a product lifecycle management. First, for example, if we are developing something, first step is normally concept phase. That means we will be having some idea and we want to develop something. So it is just like a draft. Then we will design and develop. So for that purpose, we will use some CAD software and also CAE software for designing and developing. Then we will make as a prototype. Before letting into the market, we have to first of all create a prototype so that we can ensure that everything is working well and that there is no issue for the product. That means if you are manufacturing mass, and if you are doing prototype, we can find the functions and errors and everything in the product. If you are skipping that particular step, it will be a very big loss. For example, in manufacturing, we are manufacturing a mobile phone. In case if you are not doing like prototype test, and if you are going directly into the production, we are manufacturing, for example, 1 lakh mobile phones. Okay. So in that case, if something goes wrong in the mobile phone, we have to recall the 1 lakh mobile phone and we have to replace. So for that purpose, to avoid this inconvenience, we will always create the prototype and we will test for several stages. And there are like guidelines from each and every countries we should follow. Once that is done, then we will go for the production. So after the production, we will get, that means like once the production is done, we will get like a normal end user. For example, we can buy mobile phone in the shop or online shops, whatever it is. And then service. Service means we are having mobile phone and for example, our display got damaged. So for that purpose, we have to make a service. So that we can do through this phase. That is the service phase. And obsolete. Obsolete means that's the end of the life cycle. That means we have used this mobile phone for example, for 10 years, and we don't want or we can't use this mobile phone for any more. That means from the company itself, they stop this production and also the service part. So in this service phase, they will be giving service and also like spare parts. In obsolete phase, there won't be anything. That means like end of the life cycle. That means we will never get the same mobile phone again in the market. Could you send chat? Do you know any mechanical or electrical CAD tools? If you guys know any CAD or mechanical CAD tools, mechanical or electrical CAD tools, you can send it in the chat. I will give some 10 seconds.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Okay, so
sir, finally we can do this. A Q&A session we can do, sir. So now we can carry on with the PPT.
Okay.
Yes,
so I will give some example for the electrical and mechanical CAD tools. For example, like from Autodesk and CATIA, we are having like PTC and many other CAD tools. So this CAD is also a main part for the PLM. That means PLM consists of the PDM and or other softwares. So first of all, we should know the PDM. PDM means product data management. Product data management is nothing but the product which we need for the production. For example, we need some CAD model and we need the manufacturing model and everything. So that is the PDM. And product lifecycle management is the combination of PDM, ERP, that is like enterprise resource process that, for example, like SAP, and then CRM. So this completely called as PLM. That means if we have our design, and if we have our manufacturing process, and if we have our entire workflow, then we can manufacture the product, and also we can just make surveys, and also like we can get into the process. So why PLM is very important? Currently, that means like we are in industry 4.0. That means globalization. Each and every company, or like most of the companies, are having their locations in different places, different countries. For example, I'm working at ZF, and ZF has their location in 40 different places, different countries. That means each and every location will manufacture some parts, and few parts. For example, I'm working in the seatbelt area. So there will be different locations working for this particular product. That means some people from USA will work in this product, and someone from Germany will work, someone from India, or someone from China. So for this purpose, we need PLM. The reason behind that is it will make easier the communication. That means we can communicate very easily without any hesitation, because each and every location, for example, like Chinese people will speak Chinese language, and Indian people will speak different language. So we can use one system, for example, a PLM system as a main system to communicate with each and every one who are involved in the project, so that we can develop our product very easily and in the meantime. So that means like within a particular phase or time, we can finish our product. And next step is like speed up the product development. So for most of us know, like there are too many companies now, and there are always some challenges. That means like before we are developing some product into for the market, and we are delivering it to the market, there will be some other companies who will be ready to give the same product in the market. So for that purpose, we should be really very fast, and we should really develop our product as soon as possible and bring it to the market. And bringing it to the market doesn't mean that we will just develop and bring. We have to follow the certain rules and regulations of each and every country, and we should also follow the guidelines. That means it should be exactly the same as the guidelines. Otherwise, it will be a big issue. So for that purpose, also PLM is very important. And to implement the new changes, it is also important to use the PLM software or PLM program. PLM. The reason behind that is like we as an end user, we need too many functionalities within a short period of time. Just think, before 4 or 5 years, we have some smartphones which are totally different from the smartphones which we have now. For example, before 3 or 4 years, we have only one camera mobile phones, but today we are having 3 to 4 cameras in a single mobile phone. So that means the requirement of the end users is also like rapidly increasing. So to meet that, companies should implement this software, and also to compete the market. As I said, like to enter into the market and also to sell more products, it's also necessary to just be fast in the product development. So that's the reason, and reduce cost. Nowadays, there are too many companies which are selling mobile phones, for example, for less cost, and also at the same time, there are also few companies which are selling for the high cost. So in this case, most of the end users will prefer the same functionalities with the less cost. So it is also necessary to reduce the cost using the PLM. So actually, PLM will help in all the aspects. So these are the few points. Apart from this, there are also many more points which we can consider. So I will just explain you about the life cycle of mobile application. For example, we are having our Google Meet today for this webinar. So to deliver this Google Meet for the end users like us, Google might have done too many steps. That means first step is the requirement. So first of all, they have to think what end users need. For example, end users need the audio function, video function, chat function, and also they should contact with each other. So those are the functionalities they need, and apart from that, they should also think from the system side what they need from the system side. So this in this requirement phase, they will think about the end user side and also from the programming side, and how they deliver into the market, and also they have to think about the competitors. So what are the functionalities their competitors are having, and how they can make it as a better system than their competitors. And then they will do the analysis and design. So next step is, second step is like analysis and design. In this one, they will just design the prototype system. That means like they will just start developing, for example, like coding in the system. At the end, they will be having a development system. So that is the development and testing. And in development system, they will just test their application again and again with several teams, and also they will upgrade. For example, if there is any bug, they will just clear that, and they have to develop again. So it is just like a cycle which goes for several months or years sometimes, and then they will deploy. Deploy means they will send it for the end users. That means we can use, and as an end user, we can also have all the functionalities. In this case, after the deployment, we can't tell that the software is working very good. Sometimes there will be some issues. For that purpose, they need the support and the upgrades. Support means if there is any issue, Google, for example, they should work on this and they have to fix the problem. And upgrade means there will be different functionalities. For example, now we have chat function and just with the text. In future, they want to send also with emoji. So that's a kind of upgrade. So every time a new installation takes place in some software, that is called as the upgrade. So this is the entire life cycle for any application. This is not only for mobile application, it's for any application. For example, even for the Windows which we are using, Android or iOS or any softwares which we are using. So next example is about social network. We know we are using Facebook. That is a well-known social network. And previously in 2014, we had Orkut. That is also a product from the Google. So it was quite a little bit famous during that time, and then it was overcome by Facebook. So here also in any social network, there will be a life cycle. So life cycle is nothing but there will be a start of some life, and then there will be some end, just like a human being. We will born and we will die at some time. So that is the exactly same for the product also. So here just take, we can consider an example for the Orkut. So in 2004, Orkut was introduced, and then it was grown a little bit, and then it has attained the maturity phase. Maturity phase is nothing but there are like too many end users who are using that. So after that phase, there will not be any growth. That means there won't be too many users for this particular application because of the technological change. For example, Orkut, after Orkut, Facebook came. So Facebook was quite convenient with too many post option, pages option, and also like groups. So that could be also a reason why people changed from Orkut to the Facebook. And then after this launch of Facebook, and after a few years, this Orkut was dissolved. That means like obsolete. That means they have announced that they will take out the Orkut from the market, because the reason behind that is if they are developing application and also giving support for the Orkut even after this maturity phase, it will be a very big loss for the company, because there won't be too many users. With that, they can't earn too much of money. That means all the investment which they are putting for some particular application will be just for nothing. And another example is mobile phone. That is like we know very well 1100 Nokia, and also like there are too many other mobile phones, and 1100 is very famous during our childhood. So 1100, it was developed in some particular year, and then it has attained growth just like this graph, and then there was maturity here. And at this maturity time, there were too many users who are using the Nokia phone, and then technology changed. Then it was just like a decline phase like this for the 1100. That's why we don't see the W00 product in the market now. After that, there are like too many other mobile phones which are available in the market with the more functionalities. So just compare the mobile phone which we had before 10 years and now there are too many changes in the technologies. So that is the main reason why the product lifecycle management is very important, because we have to just go in the flow with the market. We know also like few companies who lost their market shares just because of the delay in the technology update. For example, like Nokia, because there were too many competitors previously, and they had a really very good smartphones. For example, like Samsung or any other Chinese products, Chinese mobile manufacturers like Oppo. They are like competing the market with their new technology and also with their low price mobile phones. So that is the reason we should just implement the product lifecycle management in any industry as soon as possible. And it is also necessary to have a look at the entire life cycle, and we have to just update our technology as soon as possible and also as much as possible. In this product lifecycle management, one of the very, very important topic is change and variant management. Change management is nothing but the things which we are changing in the product or any technologies or any other resources. For example, consider this iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro. So the difference between this is 2 camera and the 3 camera. That is the main important difference. So for this purpose, we can use the variant management. That means with the variant management, we can create or produce a same cell phone for the different configuration. As I said, here with the 2 camera and also with 3 cameras. So for making all these changes, it is also necessary for us to track, because we should have the documentation what we have done in our product. So for that purpose, it is also necessary to have the change management. Actually, change management will be playing a very big role in all the 6 life cycle steps. That is right from the starting stage till the end of the product, because with that only we can just have the tracking of products, what is happening in a particular product. Most of us, we know like CAD tools. We have used several CAD tools, but we will save that document or any file in our desktop, and we will use it later for any other purpose. So for example, if you are designing any car, maybe you need like hundreds of parts just for one single component. So you will be creating hundreds of different CAD model, and then you will save it in your desktop, and then you have to assemble that. So for a single user, that is quite easy. But for a very big company like, for example, Bosch or ZF, it is very difficult. Even for Daimler, like OEMs, it is very difficult for them, because they will be having thousands of components, and also they will be having several thousands of employees who are working for the same product. So for that purpose, we need a central system where we can save our data. So that is the product data management. So this data, so here we will, in PDM system, we will save over all the data. So next step is like for the production. So for production, we need also communication. That means as a designer or developer, I'm developing some product and I have to give it to the manufacturing. So from manufacturing, they should know each and everything what is in the product. Otherwise, the product will be bad. That means like they can't produce exactly as in the specific dimensions. So that is the reason we are using again PLM system. So in this system, as you have seen here, all the PDM components will be also integrated in this. So that means people from the development, that means like designers, they can also have contact with the manufacturing engineers. So our end product will be very good. Next stage is we have to sell our product to the customer. So for that purpose, there will be some sales manager for every region and every location. So they have to work closely with the manufacturing and also, for example, design engineers in case of any questions. So for that purpose, to avoid any obstacles, we are using this PLM system. Coming back to this example, so as I said, like there are too many things which we can use in the PLM. So product data management is one small part. The next upgraded version, I could say it's like a PLM, because PLM is a very big packet and it is just like an ocean. So there are too many things we can do in the PLM, and I can't explain each and everything here because it will be like too deep, and also sometimes it is very difficult to understand without any basic knowledge in the PLM. So that's why I have given some basic ideas. And next info what I want to give is job opportunities, because right after my studies or during my studies, I don't know what is PDM or PLM, but there are really too many opportunities in India as well as in foreign countries. For example, in any manufacturing companies or in any software companies, there are requirement for the PLM engineers. That means with our basic education, basic engineering education, we can just proceed into any other any companies, and we can start working in that field. So actually, there are too many companies, even in India, even in Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Pune. There are too many companies who are working in PLM. So few companies are like very big companies like Wipro, Infosys, TCS, and there are too many small companies, because these small companies are like a service provider for the big companies. That means they will get contract from or they will get contract or task from big companies, and they will do for them. Or there will be like too many small companies, and these small PLM companies will be supporting the other products or product customers. So here are some job titles which you can use for finding this job: PLM developer, PLM administrator, PLM consultant. So for doing these kind of jobs, there are different degrees which we can use. I will also explain that later. So for example, PLM developer, this is mostly for the people who are from the information technology side or from computer science. It's not only for them, even it is applicable for the all mechanical related branches. The reason behind that is, for example, my company, we are doing mechanical components. So we need also some people who have very good knowledge in the mechanical components, and also little bit knowledge in the coding. So that's the main reason why IT companies are also hiring different domain peoples, for example, like from mechanical engineering or automobile engineering or whatever it is, other engineering, and also administrator. PLM administrator is totally back-end job. That means you will you will be the admin for the entire system. That means you have to keep the system alive. That means like it should always work, and there shouldn't be any work. And whenever something happens, you'll be the main person or also like a supporting person for the system to get into back to the work. And PLM consultant is more of the job like there will be different groups in a company. So you have to just discuss with each and every one, or people who are or departments who are related to this particular project or development, and we should just get some notes what they want in their system and how we can implement. So it is just like a bridge between the developers and also the end users. I hope it is quite clear. And here are the some target degrees. It is like a very well-known degrees in India is like computer science engineering and also information technology. So if you study there, it is also possible to land into this job. And apart from that, there are also many other engineering courses, for example, like mechanical engineering, electrical and electronics, electrical and communication engineering, aeronautical engineering, automobile engineering. So if you are doing any of these courses, it is also possible to come to the PLM field. I would say PLM field is a very booming field because there are too many developments in the PLM field, and also like in the automobile sectors, and also apart from that other industries. So too many companies are implementing PLM in their companies. That means there is a shift in the phase from the PDM to PLM. That means there are also requirements for the too many engineers in the future. So I would say if there is any opportunity in this field, just grab the opportunity and start as a beginner. And I would also recommend, don't think about the salary at the first time, because maybe at first it will be like a little bit less, but after gaining experience, it will be a really huge difference. So these are the things from my side, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through my website. that is www.myjdra.in, and in that I have also uploaded this presentation under the blog section. So if you have any doubts, you can just contact me through my website. I have also contact page there, and if you want to follow me, you can also follow me in YouTube. That's a Travel Meets in Nature. So thank you for the patience. I hope that you have gained some basic information regarding the PLM, that is product lifecycle management. And questions regarding this, feel free to contact me.
Yes, sir. You can start the Q&A session, sir.
Dear participants, any questions, kindly ask. Dear participants, if you have any query or clarification, kindly chat your chat box.
Okay, sir. We can go to vote of thanks.
Nanda sir, you have the vote of thanks.
So we can go to vote of thanks, sir. 1 second.
Now, நான் ரெக் பண்ணிடுவா.
No, sir. No, sir. I will do this. Okay, vote of thanks. Thank you, Elias, sir. First of all, it is a great privilege for me for giving vote of thanks for this webinar organized. First of all, I like to thank God for protecting us in this pandemic situation and making us to gather knowledge to these webinars. Then I would like to thank our resource person, Mr. J. Dinesh Raja Ruben, PLM Coordinator, ZF Automotive Germany, for your valuable time in accepting our invitation and giving this wonderful webinar to us in the topic Product Life Cycle Management PLM. So really this presentation is very useful for our participants and they can enrich themselves in developing research projects in product life cycle management field for giving project ideas for our final year students also. Next, I would like to thank our CAD management authorities, our principal sir, our agent sir, our GMT sir, for giving us permission to organize this webinar, and also I extend my hearty thanks to our Department of Mechanical Engineering and HOD Dr. M. Kannan for giving your entire support, and also I thank all the each and every faculty of my mechanical engineering department for your direct and indirect support to help in and coming to webinar also. Also, I extend my hearty thanks to all the participants coming here for your patience and listening and for your valuable comments for this webinar. I hope this webinar is useful to you in your future. Thank you one and all. Over to you, Elias sir. Elias sir?
Sir?
Sir, you can post the feedback link in the chat box, sir.
Okay, sir.